I would like to, I know I literally just filmed a video, and I'm not gonna change. I'm wearing the same clothes. It's the same day. But after I stopped filming that other video, I, just started watching YouTube. And I've been really into learning about witchcraft lately. And because of that, I get a lot of videos, about witchcraft and about witches on my feed. But when I get them, it's not like, they're not made by witches. They're made by people like reacting to witchcraft or reacting to, all of that. And I've seen so many videos that don't understand what witchcraft is, like at all. So I would like to kind of explain what it is, to me at least, because it is different to everyone. I am very, very new. Within, I'd say I started around, this winter, over, Christmas time, I think. So it's been 5-ish months. I'm very, very new to all of this. But I still just want to, give my opinions. One of the biggest misconceptions that I have seen that bothers me so bad about witchcraft is that it's a religion. Witchcraft is not a religion. Witchcraft in of itself, isn't a religion. There are people that do have religious beliefs that align with a lot of witchcraft practices, and there are a lot of religions that center around witchcraft, which I will talk about in a second. But witchcraft itself is not a religion. Witchcraft is basically a mindfulness practice. It is based on a lot of meditation, connection to the earth, a lot of, nervous system regulation. Witchcraft is sort of, in short, doing things that will make you feel better, right? Whether, physically, emotionally, doing things that'll make you feel better. What is going on? There's the inside of this dress is crumpled up. But witchcraft is not a religion. The religion that most commonly gets associated with witchcraft is Wicca. There's a lot of talk in the witchcraft community from both sides about Wicca, against Wicca, for Wicca. It's a big thing. Wicca is a New Age religion that came about, I don't want to get the year wrong, but it came about early before the 2000s and centers around a male and female deity, so the masculine and the feminine. And Wicca is a religion. There's also a lot of different branches of Wicca, and there are a lot of other, witchcraft, pagan religions. But witchcraft itself, just in general, is not a religion. Anyone can practice witchcraft, and you can also be religious and practice witchcraft, right? You can be, I know that, well, I don't know a lot about Christianity or Catholicism, but I've even, seen and heard people talking about practicing witchcraft and being, following those religions. Witchcraft is not a religion. It also isn't evil. Because there's actually a really good video that sort of explains a lot of this, from an experienced witch's perspective. I'll put that in the description. But they talk about, I don't know what their pronouns are. I don't want to assume. I'm just going to use they, them. They talk about what witchcraft is, what it's not, the misconceptions, I'm talking about now. And they talk a lot about spells, and casting spells and hexes and curses and all that stuff. I don't really do a lot of that. I mean, mostly because I'm very new, but also because I don't really have any huge interest in it. I'd like to learn at some point, but witchcraft isn't about, like, casting spells. For me. For some people it is, but because it's such a personal thing, for me, it's not about casting spells. And the spells that do go really viral are the ones that are, like, big and flashy, right? When I do some small spells, but it's really just kind of, like, stirring my tea in a particular way and, like, thinking about what I want for the day. Do I want to, be happy? Do I want to be productive? That kind of thing. Spells don't have to be huge, expensive, like, elaborate things like we see. The ones that we do see, and the ones that go viral, like I said, are, like, the big flashy ones. But that's not what it is, right? That's not what it has to be. I think those are the biggest misconceptions I see. Oh, I also see a lot on the same, like, similar topic that witchcraft is evil, that, like, everyone who practices witchcraft is, like, a Satanist or, like, works with the devil. No. No. That's still centering, that's still centering religion, right? There are, of course, people that do, that are Satanists and that do work with, like, Lucifer and death goddesses and gods and things like that. But even that isn't, most people that I know, at least, that do those kinds of things don't even consider themselves religious for the most part. I definitely wouldn't consider myself religious at all. I think that the closest would be maybe, I'd maybe consider myself a pagan, but even then, paganism and the word pagan kind of just was used for a really long time to sort of label anyone that wasn't Christian, which I could be wrong about, but when I was doing my research, that's sort of what I was reading a lot about. There's a lot of pagan traditions amongst, like, Celtic communities, but even then, like, saying Celtic paganism isn't an accurate term because there are so many different communities, right? Paganism is a very blanket sort of term. Being a pagan is a very blanket term. And I don't know what that looks like for me personally. I do believe in, like, Mother Earth and respecting nature and stuff like that. So if that makes me a pagan, then I guess I can consider myself a pagan. But if not, I don't really feel like I'm religious at all. I also kind of don't like the term spirituality, actually. I know that it is a spirituality, but I don't really like labeling it, other than, like, calling myself a witch. I also think that calling myself a witch feels very, it sort of feels like I'm taking back the term, because it was used to describe women that were intelligent, for lack of a better word. And I want to be intelligent, right? Like, who doesn't want to be smart? And who doesn't want to know which plants can heal wounds and things like that? So, in that vein, I call myself a witch. But witchcraft isn't a religion. Witch is also a gender-neutral term. You can be a male witch or a boy witch or a non-binary witch. Witch is a gender-neutral term for the most part. And I think that it's important to embody whatever you feel like embodying. And I personally feel like we become more powerful when we're being ourselves. So, yeah. That's witchcraft. If anyone has any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. I want to learn more. I have, like, a couple books that I'm reading, and I have recently been talking to a very experienced witch. She's been in my life for a really long time. Sort of like, she's like a great aunt, I think. Or an aunt. I love her very much. And I've been talking to her a lot about it. And she's sort of been practicing her whole life. So I really love hearing her perspectives on things. I think that sort of like my community video. Community for witches is very important, but it is also a very personal thing, right? Figuring out what works best for you is kind of, that's just what you do, right? So, yeah. Those are my biggest, I hate seeing videos about witches, because I always, like, there's always those misconceptions, and it's just kind of, it just bothers me. I'm happy that it's, I mean, I'm new to it, and I'm sure that a lot of older witches are sort of happy in a way that it's becoming more popular, but also probably very annoyed because there's so many misconceptions about it still, right? So, if you're interested in witchcraft, you should totally. I'm still putting clothes away. You should totally look into it. Witchcraft is really cool and very chill. So, yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'll put that video in the description. Maybe I'll make a funny pose for the thumbnail. I don't know how thumbnails work. YouTube just kind of auto-selects. Let me see if I can. Do I have like a wand or something? I feel like I got a Harry Potter wand from Universal a long time ago. I'll hold my tea as well. This is my thumbnail. Witchcraft. There's a skull on it. I don't remember which wand I got. There's a skull on it. It's cool. Witchcraft. Very cool. Very chill. Please don't further spread any misconceptions. It's not evil. Thanks.